The SLP Loudmouth Cat-Back Exhaust is a great choice for any 99-04 GT or 03-04 Mach 1 owners who are looking for one of the louder, throatier catbacks in the category that allows them to change out the sound at any time thanks to the modular design. Now the pricing is set toward the top of the spectrum, but definitely for a good reason. The installation isn't too hard at all. Expect 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter, which we'll talk more about later on. Alright, first off, you heard the sound clips. They're definitely no joke. Now the Loudmouth system from SLP is one of their flagship catbacks, and with nothing more than a straight through Loudmouth shotgun style resonator, this thing absolutely screams. Now, the only thing I can think of that would be louder is, say, a Borla Attack or a Corsa Extreme, so I'm giving this 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter. Now at idle, it'll give you a nice rumble, but once you open up the throttle, you can hear a rich, very throaty sound that some customers have said gets people to move out of the way for them. Now you'll hear a backfire and rumble on downshifts, which is awesome in my opinion. Now because it has a modular construction, you can actually customize the sound a little bit more. Now what that means is you can actually disconnect certain parts of it and swap them out with other ones to change it up a bit. Now the resonators can come off and be replaced with different SLP mufflers or resonators to make things a little mellower or a little louder if you can get one that matches the connectors. Now some people would swap them out with, say, the Loudmouth II or the traditional style PowerFlo Muffler. Now the kit is made from a less restrictive 2.5-inch 409 stainless steel tubing, which is a better quality than some of the aluminized options out there. Now if you live in a wintry weather area that sees a lot of road salt when the snow comes in, then I'd recommend either the 409 stainless here, or if you want to spend a little bit more for a little more durability, you can go with the 304 stainless steel options, which would be more of a top dog in the quality of materials in the category. Now it also comes with polished 304 stainless steel tips, which of course definitely make it look pretty good coming out the rear end with their logo embedded in the materials. This whole thing comes in right around the $500 mark, one of the more expensive options, but the materials are durable and the modular setup adds to its worth. As far as the installation goes, no drilling or cutting or any modifications like that for that matter. It'll require simple hand tools like a ratchet and socket set, some PB blaster for the bolts and hangers, jack and jack stand, or a lift and pole jack if you have access to one. Overall, it takes about 2 hours from start to finish, maybe a little less. It gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. So let's head over to the shop where we've got a car in the air and we'll see how this thing gets done.
First, take some WD-40 or lubricant to the nuts to soak before removing. Now, start to loosen the bolts. There are 2 ways to remove your old exhaust, either cutting and removing or dropping the axle. We're going to be cutting the exhaust off on this install. Next, use a jack stand to support the old muffler while you use a pry bar and WD-40 to remove the hangers from the rubber mounts. With both removed, you can lower the jack stand down and finish removing the nuts. With the exhaust disconnected, you can slide it back and remove the passenger side exhaust. With the passenger side out, you're going to cut and remove the driver's side. Same as before, you're going to lubricate the exhaust hangers and remove them from the rubber insulators. If your exhaust is stuck at the H-pipe, place a jack stand under and leave the nuts in place, and then you can pull down to crack it free and then remove the rest of the system. Beginning with the install with the driver's side shorter pipe section, slide the clamp on and reuse the stock hardware to install. Next, take your muffler and a new band clamp and slide it onto the end of this pipe and use a jack stand to hold it in place. Now you're going to take the over axle pipe with a new band clamp and attach it to the rubber hangers and muffler. Now take your driver's side tip and the rest of the piping and band clamp it together on each end and snug it into place. Now adjust the rest of the driver's side exhaust for best fitment and clearance and begin to tighten it from front to back. Now that the driver's side is complete, we are going to move over to the passenger side and start with a slightly longer pipe and use the new flange and stock hardware to bolt on. Next is the muffler. Use a band clamp and a jack stand to hold it in place as you loosely attach it to the pipe. Now you're going to take your over-axle pipe and install it onto the rubber hangers and clamp it to the muffler. Now you can loosely tighten the exhaust but allow room for adjustment later. Take your exhaust tip and a new clamp and attach it to the last exhaust piece and clamp that to your over-axle pipe. Make sure the tip is in its hanger and both clamps are secured in the right spots. SLP gives you adjustment on how far you want your tips to be, so just adjust to your preferred location. Now with everything attached, you can go over the length of the entire exhaust, making sure everything is in its place properly and there's proper clearance and nothing is touching the exhaust. Now, it's time to double check all your fitments and bolts to make sure everything is tight and you're ready to go. Now that you're sure everything is tight, you're going to lower the car and start it, and then you're going to check for any leaks. With your test done and no leaks to be found, you're ready to test out that new sound.
Just to wrap this one up, if you're the owner of a 99-04 GT or 03-04 Mach 1, you might want to check out the SLP Loudmouth Cat-Back Exhaust, which you can find right here at AmericanMuscle.com.